Hey everybody, it's Galmadex and welcome back to some more Magic Arena. Today I'll be playing another Arena Cube draft, and let's just get into it with our pick one, pack one. So we have Approach of the Second Sun, a really big win condition for a control deck in white. We have Goblin Dark Dwellers, which is great in aggressive red decks at the top end of the curve, or just in the middle of mid-range red decks. As long as you have cheap burn spells in red, this is just a great effect on Enter the Battlefield. We have Thoughtseize, which is just great black interaction for any black deck. Those are probably my top three: Approach, Thoughtseize, Goblin Dark Dwellers, but there's like Massacre Worm, which is a lot of fun. Can wreck the board. Leer can really go off. If Leer doesn't get removed, you're now flashing back every single instant sorcery you have. Null Priest of Oblivion, it's fun to try to draft a Reanimator deck. We could just, for fun's sake, just take Null Priest of Oblivion and really have an idea of where we could go from there. I have not tried to draft a Doom Foretold deck. That seems like it would be really difficult to do. Makes each player sacrifice something during their turn. A really weird card. Yeah, Dark Dweller's Approach, Massacre Worm, Thoughtseize, Leer. So many different ways we could go here. I think I'm going to go Null Priest. I'm going to go with the only option that is probably, like, objectively incorrect. Because I do think it is weaker than the other cards there, but it's the option that gives us, like, by far the most clear direction to try to go. Kind of a stipulation draft style. We can go for a very clear, very strict theme, potentially. That being said, there is nothing for a Reanimator deck here. Actually, I guess Agadeem's Awakening. Turn... From your graveyard, any number of target creatures that each have a different mana value of X or less. Yeah, so 6 mana, you get a 3 mana creature, 2 mana creature, and a 1 mana creature back from grave. This actually does seem really good. If we go for a black self-mill deck, there are certainly self-mill cards in this cube in blue and black or green and black. We could really try to do that path. That seems like a fun way to go here, so I like Agadeem's Awakening. As far as what's the most powerful here, I think Delver of Secrets can be really good. History of Benalia is always great in aggressive white strategies. Unholy Heat's nice cheap removal. Into the Royals, cheap interaction. Lots of good stuff in this pack in general. But I'm going to go Agadeem's Awakening. Now we just have like Baleful Mastery for just good, efficient removal in our color. There's no self-mill in here. There's no big creature to try to reanimate. Clarion Spirit's really good in white decks with a really low mana curve. Brazen Borrow is very good interaction, as is Kolagon's Command. Super flexible card there. I think I'm just on Baleful Mastery, though. We've got a strategy, and we're going to go for it. And now it's probably Polukranos. If we're going for self-mill, being able to escape this card is something pretty big. And also the color pair is pretty good. Although we could just stick to mono black and take Rankle, which would also be good for Reanimator and self-mill, because we can use the ability to have each player draw a card and discard a card, and then we just discard whatever we're trying to reanimate. So I actually do think Rankle's quite nice here too. I'm going to take Rankle. Although here we see a very clear black-green self-mill card that's going to be great for us. Reveal the top 5 cards of your library, put a creature or land from among them into your hand, and put the rest into the graveyard. So fill that graveyard with some stuff to reanimate. Inscription of Ruin here, just a pretty great piece of interaction in black. Flexible card. Make somebody discard some cards, destroy a small creature, or late in the game we get to kick it and do more than that. We get to do both. Yeah, I like that. Phyrexian Arena is fine. I mean, it's pretty good. But it is painful. I feel that the card draw on the cube is pretty dang good in general. I don't think there's anything here for us. Maybe we just take a ram through, but if we're in black, I don't see that as like it's going to be a necessary thing. We already have Inscription of Ruin and Baleful Mastery. Maybe we'll just take the white-black duel just in case. Again, not a lot going on in this pack. Lovestruck Beast is probably just the best card. We might be in green, so we might as well. Yorian's good too. If we can run a 60 card deck, that's going to be wild. Yeah. Maybe try to go down the white-black path and get to run Yorian as a companion. Essentially just always have a Yorian in our opening hand. I guess the black-green duel here. Alright, I love Cryptbreaker here. This gives us another way to discard cards to try to reanimate, or it's just a good black card in general, which is our primary color here by far. See that Kolagon's command nice and late, and everything in this pack's off color anyway except for regrowth, which I'm not a fan of because there are just creatures that do the same thing when they enter the battlefield in this cube. Yeah, there's just better like Graveyard Recursion to me than regrowth, so I'm going to take Kolagon's command for the potential of Rakdos. And yeah, we see great aggressive red stuff, so I'm just going to take Earthshaker Kenra. Maybe we get to move into Rakdos aggro or Rakdos sacrifice. I don't think either of these green cards are going to be particularly good in green-black, but I guess we'll take Rishkar's Expertise. It's just bigger and cooler. Take the land over Ovia Pashiri. I think these abilities are just very expensive for what they do by a general cube power level. Alright, well if we see the literal best red card in the cube, we probably go down that path with Embercleave. We probably try to push down the Rakdos aggro path now. We got a pretty late Earthshaker Kenra and Kolagon's command, so it shouldn't be like cut or anything. If we wanted to just continue what we were doing for the self-mill theme, Stitcher Supplier is a pretty nice pickup. But red certainly seems open enough to grab this Embercleave and start moving down that direction. Just using that to bushwhack a path into a Rakdos aggro deck. Oh yeah, excellent stuff in this pack in red and nothing in black, so I'm happy to be in that color pair. Although Demonic Tutor is really fun. It's a really cool card. Tutor effect for only 2 mana for anything. Alright, so we have Skewer the Critics for cheap burn/removal, or Siege Gang Commander for a big kind of game-ending sort of card. Produces a lot of goblin tokens to sacrifice and gives us the outlet to sacrifice them too. Just seems very flavorful and ideal for Rakdos sack. I think I'm going to take Siege Gang Commander. I think it is really, really strong, as is Skewer the Critics. Yeah, I like Siege Gang Commander a lot. I'll take it here. It's just pretty flavorful, pretty perfect for the color pair. Wow, now we see Immersturm Predator, the like gold card for the color pair. Really hard to kill this thing, because you can just sacrifice a creature to give it indestructible, tap it, and put a +1/+1 counter on it. There's Pillar of Flame for really cheap removal, and there's Yawgmoth, which is also an incredible sacrifice outlet. You get to sacrifice any other creature and pay a life to put a -1/-1 counter on a creature and draw a card. You're just getting so much value when you sacrifice things to Yawgmoth. It's insane. So I think I'm just going to take Yawgmoth over anything else here. Also, Immersturm Predator is much more likely to wheel than Yawgmoth, since Immersturm Predator is 2 colors instead of just 1. Yeah, I'm taking Yawgmoth Heal. I would love to wheel Immersturm Predator, followed by maybe the 1-mana Bolt there. So we are likely to be pretty aggressive here, so just a good creature like Vioshino Pyromancer could be nice. Although if we really want to be all about synergy, we can take Woestrider instead, because this is 2 creatures off of the 1 card, a 3/2 and a 0/1 goat, and a good free sacrifice outlet. Sacrifice a creature to scry 1, plus it comes back from the grave later. Yeah, I kind of talked myself into Woestrider here. Wolf also kind of works for the sacrifice strategy. But she's definitely slower and more of like a big game-ending sort of thing, rather than like a nice synergy piece in the middle of the curve, which I think is what I'm really looking for here. Because if we look at what art we actually have at 3 mana, it's a bunch of removal and interaction. It's nothing that we're just turn 3 dumping out. So we kind of don't have a single 3-drop in the deck until we put Woestrider there. Sheoldred is really fun to reanimate potentially. and we do have Null Priest of Oblivion to try to do that. I am taking that over two really good cards for just aggro, Banefire and Shatterskull Smashing, but that's just so cool. That's just so cool. The original Sheoldred, just ridiculous card to reanimate here. Might go for it a little bit. I'm going to start moving things around on our curve to when they actually get cast, and we are definitely starting to look way less aggressive. So I'm just going to pile up all the non-creature stuff in a stack. It's just the interaction. Yeah, this is like our actual curve. Yeah, that's a bit nonsense. So, I mean, I think if that's how things are looking here, we probably go pretty hard on the synergy of Rakdos Sacrifice and try to be more mid-rangey, going for a long game than super aggressive with like little random dorks like Ember Shieldbreaker. So I'm just going to take the Hagramolink here, the nice removal spell over the mediocre aggressive creature. Wow, Glorybringer's such a good 5-drop. It's a removal spell and a flying threat all in one. I'm going to take the Glorybringer here over Lava Coil, over Godpharaoh's Gift too. This is really fun if you can self-mill a lot, bring all your creatures back as 4/4s over time. Some really fun cards here just going around the packs. But Glorybringer's just very, very good. Rekindling Phoenix is also very, very good. It's just super hard to kill. The first time it dies, you get this little elemental token that during your next upkeep brings your Phoenix back from the grave to the battlefield. So they have to kill the Phoenix and then kill the elemental token, the little totem that it produces. Yeah, I like the Phoenix here. It's also good in sack. So you can just sacrifice it during your opponent's end step to Yawgmoth, get your token, and then the Phoenix is just going to come back anyway. Celestius is a great card for slower decks, and we're actually looking to be pretty slow. Especially for our color person. I'm just going to take Celestius here. It's mana ramp, and it lets us draw a card, discard a card, just at various times whenever it's flipping between day and night, which will just randomly happen throughout the game. So I like the Celestius quite a bit. Guess I'll take a blue-red duel just in case. We do wheel the Immerstrom Predator. We can really get all the Rakdos Sack synergies. Yeah, our creature curve is not aggressive at all. We do get another blue dual land. A Watery Grave there, and another blue dual land Spirebluff Canal. We could splash in blue for sure, so if we see any powerful blue stuff running around, we have 3 blue duels now. But I don't think there are any Nicol Bolas's in the cube, which makes me very sad, because I would play them all. Alright, I think Chandra's the best card in this pack, but we have a lot at 4 mana. But she's very flexible and very good. A removal spell, a ramp spell, and a card draw engine all in one. Noxious Gearhulk is a great 6-drop, as well as a great thing to reanimate. Really helps stabilize because you're killing their biggest creature and gaining a ton of life when you do so. Skyclave Shade is really good with sacrifice abilities, because we sacrifice and then we can just recast it every time we play a land. Seasoned Pyromancer is great with sack because we get multiple tokens out of it. Actually, I think I'm going to take Seasoned Pyromancer here because it just synergizes really well with what we're doing, because we could discard something to reanimate to our Null Priest, and we also get some 1/1 tokens to sacrifice, and we have so many things to sacrifice things on 4 that playing a 3-drop that spits out tokens into a 4-drop that lets us sacrifice them just seems really ideal to me. Unfortunately, I think it's basically impossible that we wheel that Chandra, but that would be our best wheel. Timuret Calls the Dead. It does... I was going to say it fills our grave, but we have to exile stuff to make the tokens off of it. Never really liked Timuret Calls the Dead that much. Kind of just like a Dragon Skull Summit, or even just the card draw of Sign in Blood. 2 mana draw 2. We could splash in a Magma Opus, I guess, if we make it to 8 mana. We don't have any like synergies to try to cheapen that or cheat it into play or anything. I'm just going to take Dragon Skull Summit. Ooh. I'm just going to say ooh every pack. Reassembling Skeleton to work with our sacrifice outlets. Gaunty just a fantastic card in general, stealing a card out of your opponent's top 4 to cast against them. And Sagimore Witch, another great card for sacrifice decks because it spits out tokens as we cast instants and sorceries. They're pest tokens that gain us life when we sacrifice them. I think looking at the curve here, Skeleton fits in really nicely. But Gaunty is just big Gaunty energy. Just a ridiculous card in general. I think I'm just going to go for the Skeleton again. Like, we have free sack outlets. This pack is not crazy. We don't have enough Reanimator to try to play cards like Faithless Looting, I would say. I think we just take Sarkhan here, I guess. Pretty big threat. 5 mana, 4/4 flyer. That's the bare minimum. Yeah, potentially a lot more. Now, weaponize the monsters. Works really well with our Reassembling Skeleton, our Seasoned Pyromancer, our Goat token from Woe Strider. Or just fight with fire for the straight up 1 removal spell. I think I'm on weaponize. Some 1 mana aggressive creatures. Block of Predation's kind of whatever. Icy Manipulator just to slow people down. I'll just take a 1 mana creature here. Ooh, Priest of Forgotten Gods, another card for a sack deck. Decent little variety of removal here. I don't think we need Play with Fire. I'm going to take the Priest. Okay, as decent of a variety of removal as we have, that's literal actual alpha, beta, lightning bolt. I'm taking it. Card is absurd. I like either of these random card draw engines. Got a lot going on at 4 still. I think I'm just going to take the cheap little treasure map to filter around. Although there's Smoldering Egg to try to flip. Be a little difficult to flip in here, I think, still. 8 instants/sorceries, and a lot of them are really cheap. Yeah, I don't know. Definitely Sign in Blood here. Our creature curve actually ended up looking pretty reasonable at this point. If you consider just playing Null Priest of Oblivion as a 2 mana 2/1 Menace lifelink, which, I mean, that is good. A 2 mana 2/1 Menace lifelink is above the general curve for a 2 mana creature. So we don't have to kick this thing. We'll just have Null Priest of Oblivion as a good aggressive 2 mana creature that sometimes we get to combo off and discard a Shieldred to our Seasoned Pyromancer or something. I still don't think we're going to do Faithless Looting, but I'm also not going to Cruel Reality. It's just so much mana. It's really bad against some decks. It's way too much of a commitment to me. I will definitely play Fight with Fire, though. Maybe Lava Runner, but probably not. And I'll definitely play with Fire. All right, last pick, Play with Fire. Let's go. Some nice pickups there in the end. We actually do get to maybe change this deck around and actually turn into the basic what you want to do with the red-black sack stuff and get pretty aggressive. Especially because we have Embercleave. If we ended up in the really slow version of this deck with Embercleave in it, that would be super sad. Yeah, no, this looks very reasonable in the end. Probably don't even want to run Celestius anymore. Because now we're actually like relatively quick. 2 flip lands there. Hagra Mauling and Agadeem's Awakening. Insult to Injury is pretty slow and not great. Sign in Blood's a bit expensive. Could even not try to do the Shieldred combo, but I mean, come on. We're going to try to do the Shieldred combo. You can't stop me. Got multiple ways to discard her. We have Rankle, Cryptbreaker, Seasoned Pyromancer, Yeah, multiple ways to discard her. Only one way to bring her back, but reanimating a Shieldred, this just sounds like such a ridiculously fun time. Still just going for it. Maybe no Scorch Spitter. We have great sack outlet creatures we might not want weaponized, especially because we have just great straight up removal anyway. We don't need to sack creatures for the removal. This brings us down to 2 cards to cut. We can definitely cut 1 land with Hogger Mauling and Agadeem's Awakening as flip lands. Probably cut 1 swamp because those are both black sources, and then we cut 1 more card and call it a day. Maybe we've got enough 2-mana creatures that Treasure Map on 2 is a bit awkward on the curve. But then we have like no card draw. So I don't know about that. I guess Cryptbreaker might be card draw eventually. Possibly. Or just usually probably isn't. Yawgmoth is, though. We have enough things that combo with Yawgmoth that we could classify Yawgmoth as card draw. Yawgmoth's ridiculous with Reassembling Skeleton. It's fine with anything that costs 3 or less as card draw. But, you know, it has the combo with Rekindling Phoenix, combo with these tokens, combo with Reassembling Skeleton, combo with Cryptbreaker tokens, Goblin tokens. There's enough things that I think Yawgmoth sort of classifies as card draw. I'm going to get rid of this treasure map. That could be the wrong decision, but I'm pretty good at making those. Alright, so this is going to be the final build of the deck. Rakdos sack, somewhat aggressive, not as aggressive as it could be, but still pretty aggressive there. We got a couple flip lands, so we managed to cut a land out of here. And sometimes we just aggro off with Embercleave, sometimes we try to do our cheeky combo, discarding a Shieldred and reanimating her with a Null Priest. But that's only a 1-mana discount. It's not even the coolest combo ever. But that's still what I want to do. So reanimate 1 time, please. That's the name of the deck. Let's get in to game 1. Alright, here we are in game 1 with a definite keeper. Excellent interaction, Kolagon's command here. And a great game plan of our own. Woe Strider turn 3, Glorybringer turn 5, late game Shieldred. Opponent is on the play, deciding whether or not to mulligan still. I think they took 1 mulligan. Yep, took 1 mulligan down to the 6-card opener. Starts with a mountain, passes the turn. So we'll start with a swamp and pass, just because we like to be original like that. No mirror match here. Well, we do draw a Cryptbreaker to play turn 2, which is nice. Our curve is just getting better and better. Now we have 3-drop Woe Strider, 4-drop Predator, 5-drop Glorybringer. Cryptbreaker's probably about to die. Yeah, they've got the magnifying glass on the board right above Cryptbreaker. Just trying to set the card on fire. And go with Woe Strider here. Cryptbreaker has been Bane-fired. And we have hit the 4th land for Innistrad Predator next turn, so I'm not going to be scrying off of this goat. The goat will live to see another day. For now. Woe Strider might not, because Woe Strider can come back from the grave, so I'm just going to aggressively attack in with that. See if it trades with Rada. It does not. Here's our turn 4 Predator, and we hit the land for turn 5 Glorybringer. Just playing a bunch of very strong cards, as you tend to do in Cube. 5 mana from our opponent on red-green. Rada's coming in hot. She's got first strike, so that'll happen. I would rather leave this goat around to give Predator indestructible when it's getting targeted with something, rather than just stop 3 damage with the goat. I could still chump block with the goat and sacrifice it to Predator, just to tap the Predator, get a +1/+1 counter on the Predator. But that is still, that's 1 less indestructible shield for the Innistrad Predator in the future. Reclamation Sage. Luckily I don't have any artifacts or enchantments out. Alright, turn 5. We just get in the sky here. I could get in on the ground too if I kill Reclamation Sage instead. I think I'm actually going to do that. It's going to be a weird time, but I'm going to kill Reclamation Sage instead of Rada. Just to get in on the ground. They're down to 6 now. And they scoop them up. That's 1-0 for the Recto Sack deck. Alright, here we are round 2 with a definite keep. Just a ton of stuff going on. Everything we could possibly want. So we'll play our Dragon Skull Summit turn 1. Turn 2 we have Kenra, followed by just an excellent curve. Technically not playing anything down turn 3, but we're holding up a great Kolaghan's Command. I might just play Agadeem's Awakening tapped instead of Kolaghan's Command here. Although we can probably afford the life loss. Let's just hold up the Kolaghan's Command. Bone Crusher Giant to our face. And that'll happen. 3 mana up, here comes the Bone Crusher Giants. Can't kill that with our Kolaghan's Command, so our Kolaghan's Command looking pretty bad here. Could Baleful Mastery that, we let them draw a card if we do that. But it guarantees it's out of the way for Kenra to hit them, and we stay in the aggressive position. You know what? Draw a card. Draw a card, opponent. I'm just going to firmly plant myself in the aggressive position, and Glorybringer makes me feel really happy I did that, because that is going to help. We're just planning on killing our opponent before they can cast all the cards that we've let them draw into. Alright, foretell a card for 2, could be a Starnheim Unleashed, could be a Demon Bolt or something. If it's Demon Bolt, they hit Glorybringer here. We still definitely cast this. Cast Glorybringer, attack all, the Demon Bolt Glorybringer. No, Lightning Helix the Phoenix, so we will get the Phoenix back next turn. And we still hit for 6 here, they're down to 11. Could be a Doomscarf, we're told here, if they're a more controlling Boros deck. Most of the Boros decks I run up against are pretty aggressive, but I know there's like Mardu control that you can play, so it could also be just like red-white. Mid-range, lean on a Wrath Effect or 2. So Lightning Strike the token, that'll get rid of our Rekindling Phoenix, and a Remcarless to block with. Embercleave coming up here is going to be huge. Remcarless stops Kolaghan's Command from doing anything, so I think we just attack. It stops Glorybringer from doing anything as well. It prevents... Oh, if a spell would deal damage. Okay, I could Glorybringer that. If I Glorybringer that, they're dead on the spot, right? We hit for 12? Yeah, no, actually just Glorybringer that. If a spell would deal damage to you or another permanent you control, prevent that damage. That doesn't count creatures, so Glorybringer's effect kills Remcarless. Embercleave finds lethal. Oh no, are you kidding me? We have lethal right now, and Arena just crashed. Rebooting Arena now. No! It like passed turn or something. Judging by that sound. Can I do Embercleave? Oh my god, okay. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened, but it didn't pass turn, we're fine. Good god, okay, that got me so stressed out. Arena's being wild today. Arena's fighting back. Alright, here we are back at it again with excellent opening hands. The only issue I have here is we don't have double red for Seasoned Pyromancer, but can't have it all. This hand's still quite good. Hogger Mauling's a 4-drop, not a 3-drop. It's just going to tell us that it's a 3-drop till our opponent plays a basic land. Well, although if they start with Forsaken Crossroads, maybe they're 5-color and they'll play all non-basics. And Hogger Mauling only costs 3. Alright, Earthshaker can return 2. We do draw another double red card, so we are certainly hunting for the next red source. Our opponent is on green, blue, into an Ornithopter of Paradise. Bolt the bird. Well, you could Hogger Mauling it, which is fancy, because you can't normally do that for only 3 mana, but probably better to keep the Mauling for something bigger, something that doesn't die to just 3 damage. And now is where we're going to start to worry pretty severely about hitting the next red mana. White source from the pathway, Knight of Autumn it is. Make that a 4/3. They choose to gain some life and just trade. We do hit the next red source, beautiful. That'll get our Phoenix down. No pun intended. I'm not talking about Final Fantasy right now. I'll trade for Knight of Autumn. Get it off the board, and then we can still recast Kenra for 6. They'll just take the damage. Alright, very cool with that. There's our Rekindling Phoenix with its super cool animation. It's one of the animations they made like when Arena first came out. Rivals of Ixalan was like brand new. They have played a basic land. Unfortunately, our Hogger Mauling now costs 4 mana. We do still have the mana for it, but it'd just be cool. I don't think I've ever cast this for only 3 mana in the past. At least I didn't notice when I did. It's just such a rarity. Glasspool Mimic for another Knight of Autumn. Gain some more life? Yep. We've got the Seasoned Pyromancer to discard Sheoldred and the Null Priest to bring it back, but we need more mana to do that. I guess we only need to draw 1 more land if I play Hogger Mauling as a mana source here. And I want to get to 6 mana for Earthshaker Kenra as well. I might play Hogger Mauling as a land. We discard Sheoldred. But at that rate, I could also discard Sheoldred plus Hogger Mauling to get another 1/1 and try to hit another land, but that would be a bold play. That'd be a little risky. Okay, I think I'm just going to discard Sheoldred. Oh, I have to discard 2. Okay, well, sorry. Sorry, Hogger Mauling. I guess I do take the risky line and hope for a land next turn when it's not guaranteed. Oh, then now I just have an Embercleave. But our opponent has gained 12 life this game, so they're still at 18. Or no, they've only gained 8. They've only played 2 Knights of Autumn, not 3. I did not know this is not a May ability. It's just straight up discard 2, draw 2. Okay. That is good to know for the future. Thought it was one of the discard up to 2 cards, then draw a card for each card, discard this way. Ren and 7. Okay, well, that's going to be a blocker that is way too big. Or is it? Because I have Embercleave. I also just have a 6th mana for Null Priest of Oblivion for Shieldred, and they have to sack a creature during their upkeep. I'm just doing the cool thing. I'm just doing the cool thing. You can't stop me. Probably supposed to get an Embercleave attack in here, but no, here's Shieldred. Have fun with Shieldred. Alright, they sack the Knight of Autumn. Do they have removal for Shieldred? Hopefully not. Although I guess all she's going to do is bring back this 2-1 that I could bring back as a 6-6 anyway. Crawling Barrens, that's going to make that Tree Folk bigger. And that's also a potential blocker. They can activate it for 4 mana. They're going to make a copy of Shieldred, okay. I think we're fine with that. We have 1/1s to sacrifice, and they do not. Although, now they can bring a Vorinclex back in their next turn. That was a really good mill for them. Okay, well. Yeah, Mythos is so bad for us, actually. Never should have put a Shieldred on this board. Because now they have a self-mill engine of Ren and 7, and they're just going to keep bringing back their best creature they mill every turn. Alright, well. If this game goes long, we got no shot, so... just hope they block something with Shieldred. Oh my god. They have 2 mana up. It's our only hope to kill Shieldred. Although we could just kill them, right? 6, that's 14, 15, 17. Oh yeah, we just kill them! Embercleave's dumb. Embercleave's a dumb magic card. I don't know if you all knew this yet, but Embercleave is pretty strong. Alright, well, I'll be 3-0 then. Alright, so now we've got a mono black hand, which is a little weird, but there are good cards in it. Just Null Priest turn 2 here. Have a Skeleton out to go with Priest. We are on the draw. We hit 1 land, we have Inscription. I'm going to keep this. It's got a really weird collection of cards here, but they do things. Opponent has Sphinx of Foresight in the opening hand, so they get to scry 3 at the beginning of their first upkeep for free. Pretty cool ability. They are still scrying in the upkeep here. They are now in the main phase. Island for turn, and they pass their turn. We'll drop our Swamp and pass. Could be an opt here now. Brainstorm, basically. The original opt. Turn 2, they are on blue-red confirmed. At least. Be blue-red spells. I'll just get a 2-1 Menace out here. 2-1 Lifelink Menace. We'll play our Mauling, our Hagra Brood Pit next turn. Along with one of our 2-drops. Seasoned Pyromancer. Discard 2, draw 2. Get a 1-1 for each non-land discarded. discard a Lava Coil and an Island, so they get 1/1/1, and we do hit a red source. So we have Fight with Fire at the ready, but there's no reason to kill this Pyromancer. Once it hits the board, it's just a 2/2. Could just have our opponent discard 2 cards here. Doesn't seem awful to me. We attack with Null Priest, we just trade with Seasoned Pyromancer, and they're going to get 2/1/1s later. Doesn't seem like an excellent trade. We could just play our Skeleton, I guess. We could also just play the Priest first, and then play the Skeleton next turn and immediately crack it. Yeah, I'll play the Priest here. Now we'll be open to maybe sacking the Null Priest and the Skeleton next turn to get some mana, draw some cards. We'll draw a card. Sphinx of Foresight from our opponent. There's the 4/4 flyer. You can fight that with fire for sure. No blocks here. We fight Sphinx with fire. Now the menace creature gets to get in with no blocks. Seems good to me. Being able to kick Inscription later would be pretty cool, so I think I am gonna play the Brood Pit for a land here. We'll hold our Priest just to stop the 1 damage from the Elemental, I guess. I guess with the lifelink route, we should be attacking with the Priest as well, just to chip in for more to them. We have the 5th mana for Sarkhan now, but they're completely untapped here for Sot coming or anything like that. And we could just set up a good Priest here with Cryptbreaker and Reassembling Skeleton. I'm actually going to do that. Let's just set up a good Priest. It is stopping for some kind of instant, so it could be a counterspell. I should not have let the auto-tapper do anything here. I always forget to not let the auto-tapper do things, because now we don't have the mana to bring back the Skeleton 1 time, which is actually pretty important here. I guess we do if we use the Priest's ability, but now like if they deal 2 to everything or something, I can't bring Skeleton back. Brineborn Cutthroat coming on out. I think I like holding on to my creatures to sack to Priest next turn, and then we could have the 7 mana to kick Inscription of Ruin and just go crazy with it. They're about to do 2 to everything. Just exile it all. Let's see. I hope they aren't going to do that, but that's my suspicion here. Huh. Let's see if this does its thing. Sack their 1/1 here, we draw a card. Now we have the mana to kick Inscription if they can't counter it, and if they can counter it, then we can maybe cast Sarkhan next turn without that getting countered. So target opponent discards 2, return a creature from my grave, Cryptbreaker, and destroy a creature's mana value 3 or less, the Cutthroat. Oh my god, it resolves! Oh my god, another hand is just gone? Whoa, okay. Kicked Inscription does its thing. They had Royal Eruption Mountain in hand. They have 1 Foretold card. Wow, yeah, Priest of Forgotten Gods just really went off there because we needed the additional 2 mana. That was sweet. Alright, well, we'll just keep using Priest here, make them sack Pyromancer, but then they get 2/1/1s, so not really. Kind of like just attacking with everybody. Maybe play a Phoenix and a Skeleton, because if I play Sarkhan, I'm just going to play a 4/4 flyer anyway. Phoenix is like just as big. Actually, I think I know what to do here. Oh no, they can use this ability at instant speed. Never mind. I was thinking, like with Phoenix and Skeleton, we can sack the Phoenix and the Skeleton to basically lose 0 creatures to use Priest's ability. But then they can just, during their end step, they can still get the 2 elementals, or during our turn they can get the 2 elementals. It's probably still worth it. I'm definitely casting Phoenix and holding on to Reassembling Skeleton's ability either way. So I think I hold back the Priest here. They have 1 card in hand now that we didn't know about before. 1 card in hand, 1 foretold card. They are going into the think tank a lot here, so I don't know what they have. Just been in the think tank for a couple turns without casting anything, I think. Alright, well at this point I'm likely to use Priest of Forgotten Gods anyway. Might as well just let them get that if they want. Crush the Weak. Alright, well we draw a card here then. Is it good to sack our own creatures here so they don't get exiled? Rekindling Phoenix is screwed either way. It gets exiled or its token gets exiled. I think it's good to sack our own stuff. Alright, they get the 1/1s off the Pyromancer, we'll get the Skeleton. Cool. No reason to exert here, let's just get the damage in. They're at 9, they go down to 5. Take it all down to 4. Need to be able to kill Glorybringer to survive. They foretell a card. Hit us for 2 with their 1/1s. Goes to our turn. Oh, Siege Gang Commander for final 2 damage. Could be big. For now, attack all and just see if it's lethal. Foretelled card is Demon Bolt for Glorybringer. So we only hit for 1 here. What's more likely to kill them, Siege Gang Commander or Sarkin? I think it's Siege Gang Commander. Because it guaranteed puts them to 1 here, and the threats are all spread out instead of just the 1 dragon. Alright, they can Lightning Strike the Commander. We can still sack it to do 2 in response and still get the Goblins. So they're down to 1 against 4 1/1s. And that'll be game. Alright, that was a really good crush of the week from our opponent. I wasn't thinking about that when I made that block. So that was a really smart play from opponent there. Just trying to get the one way to exile our whole board. But in the end, we still get there for a nice 4-0 so far. Alright, here we are in round 5 now. We got turn 2 Skeleton, turn 3 Woe Strider. We can use that combo to scry a bunch to try to hit the red sources we need. I think I'm going to keep this. We are on the play here. Alright. Turn 1 Swamp. See what our mango friend has for us today. Forest into Gilded Goose. Alright, turn 1 Gilded Goose. Ramp into anything turn 2 here, and we do immediately hit the red source, so let's just get aggressive here. Send in the Kenra. Green-white from our opponent. Rishkar, Pima, Renegade. Turn 2 puts a counter on the Goose and the Rishkar. So they have some big blockers, a 1-3 and a 3-3, both very good at blocking. A 2-1 like Earthshaker Kenra. I like playing the Pyromancer here, discarding the Skeleton in a land. Don't think I discard the Woe Strider though. And we cannot really attack in well anymore. But now we have a Rekindling Phoenix coming up next turn. Elder Gargaroth from our opponent. Alright, that's a really, really bad time for us. We need to draw removal for that. Or that just outclasses all of our creatures by a country mile. The turn 3 Elder Gargaroth. And a Voracious Hydra to kill something when it comes into play. It's going to fight our Phoenix. So we no longer have enough power on the board to block the Gargaroth well. So they get the free card draw out of it. Nothing we can do to stop it. Or a 3-3 Beast. Any of that is horrendous for us. They choose the 3-3 Beast. It has Trample too, so we can't even chump block with a 1-1 well. And it has Reach and Vigilance, so we can't attack in. I think we just got Gargarothed. Yeah, I don't see what we're gonna do to get out of this now. Turn 3 Elder Gargaroth is just... that's just a slamming. Turn 4 6-mana Voracious Hydra as well. Now Tendershoot Dryad, where they already have the City's Blessing, so all the saplings that come out are 3-3s. They get a 3-3 during each player's upkeep, not just their own. A Werewolf Pack Leader as well. Oh my god. Our opponent's definitely living the dream. That was a ridiculous ramp hand. Now we're just chilling, I guess. Combat sending a 3-3. Sure. Just bring my Phoenix back. Get rid of that. I've got an Embercleave coming up now. Is there any possible way Embercleave even breaks through anything? Not really. I guess I can Embercleave to kill the Gargaroth, but then Tendershoot Dryad's still doing its thing. Priest of Forgotten Gods does absolutely nothing for us because they get 2 1-1s every turn. They get a 1/1 during our turn and a 1/1 during their turn, and we can only kill one of them every other turn. So they make saplings faster than we can make them sacrifice things. And I guess the best we have is to just go for an Embercleave. Maybe get one thing off of this board. Or hit them for 10. Actually, you know what? Priest of Forgotten Gods. We might be in there for Priest of Forgotten Gods. Just for the making them lose 2 life over and over again. Which means I want to use Priest right now so I can get max Priest damage. But I want to leave the Phoenix for the Cleave. Alright, they sack the sapling, we draw a card. I don't know if I've played a land this turn yet. If I haven't, then I get to still do Reassembling Skeleton here. So we hit for like a little bit of damage here. We're down to 12. We have already played a land, okay. But our blocks are really not great. They have some trample. They have a 4/5 trampler, and Werewolf Pack Leader can turn itself into a 5/3 trampler. Like, I still don't think we have a good chance this game. I think our opponent's definitely in the driver's seat. But maybe 2 damage a turn off Priest of Forgotten Gods could potentially eventually get there. It's unlikely. And they attack with the 2 tramplers here. Werewolf Pack Leader is going to be at best a 5/3, so we can block that with Woe Strider and trade, and then we can escape Woe Strider later. We need 4 other cards to escape it. Yeah, it's probably not going to get escaped anytime soon, so we'd rather do the Earthshaker counter in a 1/1, or Pyromancer in a 1/1. I think Pyromancer in a 1/1 so I can get more tokens. As for the 4/5... I think we're letting it through. We are down to 10. And a Pelt Collector from our opponent. They're out of flying blockers because we killed that Gargaroth, so Rekindling Phoenix might hit them here. If they don't have instant speed removal, we actually have lethal. That's our best shot by far. Oh wait, no, we don't, because they have a Gilded Goose. They have a Gilded Goose, so we don't have lethal. Okay. We would have had lethal equipping Rekindling Phoenix with Double Strike Trample off Embercleave. But we don't have that. So we need to make sure we survive one more attack. Just spend our 7 mana on Pyromancer plus Reassembling Skeleton rather than spend any mana on Embercleave. And then we go for the kill on them next turn. Is the attempt here? Is the plan here? I think that's what we have to do, is just go for the Embercleave next turn. The goose makes food too to gain life. Oh my god! Did I just miss lethal? I could have sacked the Kenra, made the Kenra to where Goose couldn't block, like sack it to the Priest of the Forgotten Gods, and then it would cost 6 mana, we'd have 9 total. 6 mana to play that, 3 to equip the Cleave. That would be at 10 life facing a 10 power of Double Strike. It's not miss lethal though, because they can make a food and eat it, and then they're at 3 life and I die on the crackback because I only have 2 blockers. Okay. I thought I missed lethal there for a second. It's just a line I didn't think of yet. A line that it wouldn't work. But we'll get really close, like all the Embercleave lines here. It's really close to lethal, but because Gilded Goose can just make a food and eat it here, doesn't get there. They have 4 mana up outside of the Goose. 2 mana and tap the Goose to make a food, and then tap Rishkar and their third untapped land to eat the food. Oh, no blocks. Alright. Just taking 4 for now. Get more food out of the Goose that way, I guess. We can do these all at instant speed, so I think we just pass. And make a food. Cycle of Scattered Groves. I think they just live because of their food. I don't think we could have won this one. I don't know. I'm still unclear on the math of it, but I don't think that we could have gone for a Rekindling Phoenix attack last turn and survived another turn. Because like we'd have to spend 3 mana to equip Phoenix, and then we only have 2 mana to Skeleton. We don't have any way to get 2 more blockers here, so I think we would just like take more than 10 here. We didn't have a way to have lethal last turn. Yeah, with Mikaeus' ability going off, I don't see how we could possibly survive like this kind of attack without making 2 1/1s here. Like what we blocked 3, we go block, 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 because that's got a trample and that would have trample, and we take 9? I guess technically. Survive with 1 life after Mikaeus goes off. But then, like, we had to factor in they could have just attacked with Dryad as well, which we would not have survived if we just equipped Embercleave and didn't have mana to make more blockers. If they attacked with Tender Shoot as well. I mean, now we wouldn't die if they attack with Tender Shoot because we have the Pyromancer mana. But had we gone for the route where we equip the Embercleave to the Phoenix, we would just be dead to this crackback. Magic is it's way too much sometimes. Block the biggest things. We need to not die to Mikaeus. So we take 9 by blocking their Sapperling as well. 5 from Voracious Hydra and 4 from Pelt Collector. I believe the math checks out. These creatures are all going to die anyway, so we might as well sack them. They're down to 6 now, but they have essentially 2 foods, so they're essentially at 12. We get to scry off of Woestrider here. Siege Gang Commander? Oh my god. Oh. We don't have enough mana for that to kill them. We have to equip... I wanted to play an Earthshaker counter to stop Goose from blocking and then equip Phoenix, but then we don't have any Siege Gang Commander to do any of that. So what are we 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana total? 8 mana total. We get 2 from the Priest. 8, 9, 10 mana total. 3 for Cleave, 5. We can do 1 Siege Gang Commando trigger then. And then they're at 4, gaining 6. I think we keep Siege Gang Commander, but I also... Actually, I think that we have to do the Earthshaker counter line. I think the Earthshaker counter line is going to be lethal. We shut off their 1 flying blocker. They use it to make a food. They gain 6 life off their food, but they take 2 damage from Priest. They take 2 damage from Priest. They're down to 4. They gain 6. They're up to 10, but they're taking 10 unblockable damage because we shut off their 1 flying blocker. So we go Priest, target them, sack, sack. They're down to 4. Aghanim's Awakening is interesting. I don't think it changes things though. We have to just go Earthshaker Kenra, the big one. Because if we go for Awakening to get the small Kenra, I guess it does still shut off the Goose. Target creature with power less than or equal to it can't block this turn. So we'd have to go black, 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 and 2. To be 1 less mana. I don't think it really changes things. I think we still just go... We just eternalize this. Gilded Goose can't block. They're at 7 life right now. They'll be at 10 if they eat another food. But that's 10 damage from Rekindling Phoenix. Last card in their hand has to be removal. Go to 7. Make a food. Go to 10. 1 white mana up. Off the field. That's lethal. Oh, okay. That is going to be 5-0 now, with an incredible matchup there against that green-white deck. Incredible match, I should say. That was a game of Magic against the Mango there. With an apt name, because they were eating a lot of food. That's 5 wins. We're getting our gold back out of the event. Guaranteed. All right, let's head on into round 6. All right, we're on the play. Pretty great hand. Lightning Bolt at the ready, Skeleton turn 2, which is a great combo with that turn 4 Rankle. Start shredding our opponent's board while we just keep reassembling our Skeleton. And of course, Glorybringer turn 5 is always monstrous if we can hit the lands for it. Here comes our Skelly man. Opponent's on Mardu, red, black, and white, and a treasure map turn 2. Ooh, a priest. That gives us something to play this turn. It's also great with the skeleton, as we saw last game. Really hope they play some kind of good ground creature here. No! Thoughtseize. Goodbye, Rankle. Maybe they hit Glorybringer. I doubt it, though. We don't have the mana for Glorybringer yet, and it's our play 2 turns from now instead of 1. Yep. Sad day. Hagra Mauling is not a red source, so it does not help us cast anything, so no reason to play it as a land. We will just attack for 2. Thoughtseize. Yeah, the Thoughtseize was very nice here. Rankle was a big part of how the hand functions. Just a Rankle skeleton combos. Woe Strider. Sack a goat, scry 1. They get a goat no matter what. Could have bolted that to counter their scry, but I'm considering mauling it so that we still bolt to do 3 damage to them at a later time, but they're still at 15. They're only going to take 2 a turn here. I don't think we have the kind of clock to just hold on to a lightning bolt. Yeah, I should have just bolted before they could get the scry one. Ooh, choose not to do it anyway. Shieldred. Now I might be playing this as a land. Need 2 more to cast Shieldred after that. Which means Priest could do it. If we get another creature on the board. I'm gonna try to get to Shieldred with that. Treasure map flips here. Our opponent has tons of mana and tons of card draw off the treasure tokens with the Treasure Cove. Cursebound Witch. for the turn. Anything else coming out? To get any witches card basically out of this when it dies. Yawgmoth, okay. That's horrible. Yeah, we can't do anything here. We have to just pass. I think Yawgmoth takes it over now. Draw a card and put a -1/-1 counter on something every time they sacrifice a card. Really good with effects like Cursebound Witch where they really want it to die anyway. And expendable creatures like the Goat token. And we have nothing castable here, so not much retaliation from us. Let's kill our priest here if they want to trade a creature into it. We can't even activate the priest anyway, so... So, RIP my priest friend. I should have just put the skeleton on Yawgmoth. There was no reason not to stop that 2 damage. Not really holding my mana up for anything right now. Felidar Retreat. Start getting 2/2s whenever they play land, and then putting a counter on all their creatures when they play lands. Potentially. Alright, they're tapped out. If we hit the red source, we still have a slight chance because we just hit in the sky for a good chunk. I shouldn't have mentioned... I shouldn't have said anything about the color mana we needed. Should have known I was going to hit a black source then. But, I mean, that helps us cast Shieldred. But if all we're doing is casting a Shieldred next turn, that's not going to be a way out of this game. That's going to be way too slow. We have to pressure our opponent with damage in the here and now. Oh no! Now they have Lurrus going off with Yawgmoth and Cursebound Witch. So you draw an extra card every turn, and draw a card off of Cursebound Witch's spellbook, because Lurrus gets to keep recasting the Cursebound Witch once per turn. Yeah, our opponent's getting the 6 sacrifice synergies here. We are outie. Whole board gets Vigilance and a permanent +1/+1 counter. And there are a lot of creatures. Maul of the Skyclaves post-combat. Make a flying, first striking, 5 toughness Lurrus. So even if we hit the red source now, we can't kill Lurrus, and we can't attack him with Glorybringer because they block with a first striking lifelinker. So that is when we'll get the red source. I'm going to scoop them up. That is game. Alright, here we are on the play. Turn 2 Kenra, turn 3 Command, turn 4 Predator. Sure. We still got that 7 mana Shieldred, which is always a bit awkward, but pretty good start on the play. Get in there, Earthshaker Kenra. Our Kolaghan's Command hasn't really gone off. I don't think it's done anything wild yet, but I think the card is good. Just haven't gotten into matchups for it. Attack everybody here. They only have a single blue mana up. I don't think they can counter anything here. think I like Phoenix better because it plays better against like a Wrath. They do have a counterspell, okay. There is a single blue counter there. Supreme Will it is. Predator and Phoenix are basically, they're very close in how good they are. Very similar power levels, so either one gets killed. We're cool to cast the next one next turn. Solemn Simulacrum here. Do 2 damage to them and blow up their Simulacrum, I guess. Maybe the best thing our Kolaghan's Command ends up doing. That's to hit them for 2 damage from command, they're down to 11, and then 3 damage on the ground down to 8. I don't know if that's worth it. Probably just want to play Predator for now. Pyromancer would be pretty good there too, because then we can trigger the Priest of Forgotten Gods. But then I'd have to discard good things. I'd have to discard Shieldred Kolaghan's Command to hold on to Predator, or Shieldred Predator to hold on to Kolaghan's Command. That's the biggest downside of going for the Pyromancer there, is just what do we discard? Another Triumph from our opponent. We've got 5 untapped mana here, almost every color, no green. They tap out for a Golos, that'd be really cool, because then we get to show off an awesome Kolaghan's Command, 2 to Simulacrum and blow up Golos. Alright, they pass the turn though. Now I could season Pyromancer, discarding Shieldred land. Then I can activate Priest. And if I activate Priest, that means I have Kolaghan's Command mana. Activate Priest, discard Pyromancer, or discard, sacrifice Pyromancer Kenra, or Pyromancer 1/1. I guess I get to do that at instant speed, so for now I can just be like, alright, whatever. Yeah, it's instant speed. Let's just send in. We'll offer the Kenra trade. We're going to have enough mana to eternalize it. That'll be a good play next turn. Well, we're 1 mana off from eternalizing it, but we can use Priest's ability to eternalize it. Lorehold Command, deal 3 damage to it. And create a 3/2. So we want to sacrifice a creature to give it indestructible. And then we want a Kolaghan's Command for just straight value here. So that's going to be... That's going to mean sack this. Let that resolve. And then, in order to command, I have to sack 2 things. Do I even want to do that, or do I want to just post-combat a Rankle instead? Yeah, we'll let them do their blocks. Just save the Predator. We take the trade there. I don't think I'm going for it with the Priest. The mind just changed. So just on it, all in on Predator then. Yeah, exile works. I should have sacked there, probably. Yeah, because of Pyromancer's ability in Graveyard, I should have responded by sacking there. It would counter their life gain as well. That was a big miss. Do still get to do a sweet Kolagon's command, though. Do I even want to blow up their Cold Steel Heart? I could blow up their Cold Steel Heart and their 3-2, or I could just get something back for my grave. I could also just play a Rankle. And attack in instead this turn. I can also play Earthshaker counter. Yeah, then they don't block. Then they don't block. Get hit for 7. We have a haste creature next turn. And they're at 7 life. Kolagon's command can also be direct damage to their face. Another haste creature, Glorybringer here. See if it gets out. It's bigger than Rankle, and it kills their 1 blocker. I'm going to attack like this, so I'm open to Surprise Priest of Forgotten Gods Kolagon's command, which is going to be perfect. Yeah, that's going to be perfect here. Because they're going to try to cast a Vraska's Contempt. We sack whatever they're targeting. Blow up Gearhulk and their 3-2. Actually, their 3-2 is already going to die from the Exert trigger no matter what. So we Priest, target them. Sack Glorybringer, which is about to die and gain them life. Sack the Pyromancer, which isn't going to hit them that hard. We hit them for 4 guaranteed now, which is enough to kill them because Kolagon's command hits them for 2 more. So destroy their creature and hit them for 2. And that's lethal because they gain 0 life now. Alright. That is why Kolagon's command is incredible. That was like the best Kolagon's command I ever cast. That might not be accurate. Kolagon's command's like really, really good. But yeah, blowing up a Gearhulk and finding lethal, a pretty fantastic use of Kolagon's command, and we're now 6-1 as we head into round 8. Alright, round 8, what could be the final boss? We have turn 1 Crypt Breaker, and we can start discarding red cards to just make zombies, I guess, for now. Kinda down for that jam. If we start drawing red sources, then we'll try to cast a Glorybringer later in this game. Yeah, I'm just going to be making zombies here. Just vibing. Inquisition of Kozilek. Make us discard a card that costs 3 or less. So, something that I can't play anyway. Yeah. All of our red cards. So they discard the Fight with Fire here. Because that's the thing we're the closest to casting that they can make us discard. And unfortunately we have hit 1 red source now. Holding back on the Crypt Breaker to potentially go for the card draw this turn if they play, yeah, something that's big enough to block 2/2s easily, which they do. Although I could cast a Hagra Mauling if I hit a land and just get that out of the way. I think I'm going to discard the Mauling here, though. Ooh, Earthshaker Kenra. Well, now I'm not drawing the card this turn. I'm just going to hit. But as soon as my zombies are no longer able to get in for damage, I can just tap all 3 of them to draw a card. Dig for lands. Outland Liberator, it's a 2/2. Can sacrifice to destroy an artifact or enchantment. Ooh, Priest of Forgotten Gods with these tokens and this board state. That's going to be a good play. How's our attack on board? It's pretty bad, because we're not attacking with the 1-1 or the 2-1, so we just attack with 2 2-2s, trade one off, and the other doesn't even damage them, so I would rather just cash in on some card draw. Ooh, Lightning Bolt is the draw. Pretty spicy. We just play a Priest and pass the turn now. Opponent cracking a blood token to draw a card, discarding a Hornet Queen. They have some reanimation, which does exist in this cube in black. Could be reanimating a Hornet Queen, and that is just going to be a wall of bees we're never going to get through. No Priest of Oblivion, well, there it is. That's 5 flyers now. 5 flyers all with Death Touch. But our board is pretty wide. So like we just trade 2/2s into their 1/1 Death Touchers. Then. But yeah, I mean this is a disastrously bad time regardless. Even if I have a chance or a shot or a plan against this. Oh. This is really nice. I get to Lightning Bolt their only thing that has more than 2 toughness. And then everything else I can just be attacking for trades. I could bolt a Hornet Queen, but all the flying Death Touchers are the same thing, it doesn't matter. Yeah, I'm gonna hit Rutstein. We can use Priest to guarantee the mana to do a Kenra, but then all of those other creatures are still blocking. Guarantee the mana for Pyromancer, but then I've sacked like zombie tokens anyway. I think I have enough creatures here. I think I need to just be drawing cards still to get through this Hornet Queen. This is a big wall. And a big board of threats as well. It is a lot of flying damage. That's horrible. Massacre Worm now, so our whole board's gonna die. I should have done this before that resolved so I don't lose life here. Missed that. Now I still lose the life from its life loss ability. Guess I could have exiled it to Mastery before its ability resolved and also stopped the life loss that way. It's like 100% we're not winning this one now. That was kind of the truth the moment they cast a Hornet Queen on us. Just such a wall. But definitely some big misses there, some big misplays in the end. Just to make it feel extra bad. Alright, here we are in the final game of Magic for the day. Win or lose with a pretty solid opener. No double red for this Pyromancer Commander. A mild concern, but we've got great stuff of Inscription of Ruin and Rankle. Guaranteed off of just the black mana here. So I'm definitely going to keep this. Got a Lightning Bolt. I'm going to go ahead and just play this Hagra Brood Pit turn 1, get our tapped land out of the way. Make sure we get that Rankle down turn 4. Opponent is on blue-green here with a Cold Steel Heart turn 2. So they are on the play, plus have played some mana ramp here, so A little scared of what could happen here. We could get absolutely domed on by our opponent playing 4-drops while we're playing 2-drops and stuff like that. Paulo, Vitor, Damo, DeRosa. Stop. I'm gonna shoot him. I'm gonna lightning bolt Paulo. But he's still gonna do the annoying thing and make Rankle cost 6 mana. Inscription. That means they must have something. They must have something that gets hit by inscription that they want to stay on board, or they don't want to discard the 2 cards. Thraben Inspector. They get a clue token to sack to draw a card, and they're going to go ahead and do that. And pass the turn. Alright, turn for Wrinkly Boy. I don't want my opponent to draw any cards because they're digging for mana right now. So I'll have each player discard, and I can discard Pyromancer, which actually has an ability in the grave. And they might have to discard something they don't want to discard here. They're thinking about it a lot, so I'm assuming that's happening. Yeah, they discard a Llanowar Visionary. Next turn, we're going to go Mountain Siege Gang Commander, most likely. And then we might even have Rankle make each player sack a creature, so our Goblin trades up into a Thraben Inspector. Clone Crafter. They get one of the creatures from our deck at random. A lot of our creatures are somewhat synergy focused, so hopefully they get one of those that isn't particularly good outside of a Rakdos sack deck, but most of our creatures are just good. Well, Priest of Forgotten Gods, alright. Not great outside of a Rakdos sack deck. Especially against a Rakdos sack deck. It's definitely particularly not good there. I think we just go for the sack here. They need 2 other creatures to use Priest. Thragtusk, no. Gain 5 life. Annoying giant woolly beast. Being the bane of aggressive decks' existence for years. Such a rude card. It's really good with Priest of Forgotten Gods too. That's a thing. Yeah, and we can't even just exile it with Baleful Mastery because they'll respond by sacking it to get a 3/3. But if they do that, all their creatures are gone or tapped down except for a single 3/3. But we can't even attack into a 3/3 with these 2/2s and 1/1s anyway. We'll just get rid of our opponent's hand here. You know what? That doesn't seem half bad. We attack with Rankle. Everybody sacks a creature, discards a card. They sack Thragtusk here maybe to get their 3/3, or they just sack their 1/2. We'll discard Kenra because it can come back by itself, since we hit 1 more mana. They sack the Priest. Okay, that means they can't crack the Thragtusk now, but also probably more important to make them just discard the rest of their hand here. Rather than exile Thragtusk right now, we can exile it next turn. Ooh, we hit Sublime Epiphany and Soul Herder. Sublime Epiphany would have been an absolute blowout if this ever resolved. And Soul Herder pretty good with the Thragtusk style effects. take that Thragtusk damage here. We've got an Aghanim Awakening for the 6th mana for Null Priest or Earthshaker Kenra. I think I like the Earthshaker Kenra here. Super aggro. They can't block at all. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We get hit for 10 here if we attack with this, but then I don't have any blockers, which leaves me a little bit scared. Just go with the sack. And actually just sack the commando now. Oh, why did I go for the sack? Because my one blocker is going to die anyway. Unless I sack commando, which can damage their face. That was a bad choice. That was a bad choice, because now I'm just sacking the goblin anyway. Which leaves me open to dying to some kind of crazy buff spell. Alright, but if they don't have it, we get to Baleful Mastery their one blocker, and... Oh, it's when it leaves the battlefield for any reason? Well, Thragtusk is ruder than I thought, but... that does mean I still have lethal, because they just block there and take 5. Whoa, Arena! Arena's straight closed. If that doesn't count as a win, I'm gonna lose it. I don't know if anybody else is experiencing it, but today I've had a lot of Arena issues compared to any other day. Like, rarely have I had Arena just decide to close and stuff like that. Let's see. Arena Cube Draft resume. 7-2. Alright, cool. Counted it all in, so that is another 7-win Arena Cube Draft with this nice Rakdos sack deck. We'll take one last look at the deck if you're interested in seeing it. But a pretty fun time overall. We did get to do the thing where we reanimated Sheoldred 1 turn early, thanks to Null Priest of Oblivion getting a Sheoldred out for only 6 mana. And then I got really scared because our opponent cloned our own Sheoldred, but we still managed to get there just aggressively enough that game. So real nice deck overall, real nice showing from it. And that is going to end the draft and end the video for the day. As always, if you enjoy these drafts and you'd like to see more, just stick around on the channel. There will be plenty more in the near future. And once again, I'd just like to thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.